Hey, how's it going, guys? It's your boy back with another story time about how I got my first car. So, my uncle at the time was getting a divorce and he was living with me in my parents' house. And he was letting me drive his truck while he was in the passenger seat at the moment because I had a permit only. And he was the only one who was really letting me practice drive. So, he said to me, "Hey, man, if I got a car for you if you want it." I said, "What? Really?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. Bright red sports car, beautiful, 1994 3000 GT Turbo." He's like, "Look it up." I said, "Okay." And for you, if there's any car enthusiasts that watch my page, I doubt it, but if there ever is, that's the VR4 edition. So I go home after we're done driving for about an hour. I go home, look up the car. I run up to him and I said, "Bring that here tomorrow." He said, "You said the word, I'm bringing it." So he brings it there, and I'm seeing some liquid leak from it. He's like, "Yeah, man, there's only some radiator fluid leaking from it. Don't even worry about it." I'm like, "All right, so how much is that going to be to fix?" He's like, "Probably like $50. $100 later and a new radiator. Have it fixed." And he's like, "How do you feel about your road test tomorrow?" I said, "I feel pretty confident." I went to my road test, failed the first time. A few months later, passed. So I get the car on the road and all that. And the first day, no problems. It's running like a champ. It sounds like the Incredible Hulk when you pass by. It's like, it screams. I swear to God, to this day, it screams. Um, 2 weeks in, the car breaks down. Unknown reason. I get it towed back to my house. Everything looks fine. Replace the spark plugs. Starts right back up again. I'm like, awesome. You know, that's dope. I tested all the spark plugs too to make sure there was a connection, and there was. A week later, breaks down again. Right as I was, right before I got an inspection for it. I said, okay. Got it towed to my girlfriend's house at the time. Sat there for a day, went to turn it on, ran like nothing even happened. I was like, I don't even know what's going on. We look at the oil levels, those were low, so I filled it with oil. I was like, okay, that must have been it. 3 days later, I bring it into the shop for an inspection because the 10-day inspection's almost up. And the guy looks at the car, looks underneath it, looks inside of it, and says, "Yeah, your alignment's off. Your brake pads are pretty much destroyed. Your rotors need to be replaced now. I'm surprised your car hasn't given up in the middle of you braking. How have you not noticed that? Your electrical is screwed up everywhere. This is going to be like a $3,000 job." And I couldn't pay for that at the time. So what happened was I took the car, and my girlfriend at the time, her dad, I meant, was grateful enough to loan me the money, and I'd pay him back slowly. So I got the car fixed. I'm like, hell yes, it's fixed. After $3,000 worth of work, there's nothing wrong about it. 2 days later, it breaks down. I have a guy come and tow the car. He pops a tire. And I drop it back off at the mechanics, and the dude ended up leaving for vacation. So I had my uncle come over with me because at this point in time, I didn't know there was this many problems with it. And I'm like, "Man, you didn't really tell me there was all this problems." He's like, "I had no idea there was. I didn't think this was going to be this much problem. I knew about the rotors kind of being a little rusty. I knew that the brakes needed replaced. I told you that. And you already had the radiator replaced. I don't know what's going on electrically here, though, because this switch here only goes off on sometimes and off a lot of the time. This switch should be going on constantly, and if it's not going on constantly, there's no current for your car to start." I said, okay. And at the same time, I had to wait 2 to 3 weeks to get a new tire from the tow truck company, and then they try to guilt trip me into paying for the tire that they popped. I said, screw you guys. You paid for it. You broke it. I'm going home. I'm not paying you a dime. So I take it, put the new tire on my car, and suddenly it starts again. So I'm like, all right. 5 minutes later, shuts back down. I said, well, I can't afford any more mechanical bills. I go to my aunt's house that day, and I talk to my uncle. I'm like, hey, and my aunt, hey, can you guys please help me get this car back to my house? So what they did was they rope strapped the car underneath and got it towed back to my house. Successfully, by the way. And my mom at this point was like, listen, dude, this is way too many mechanical problems. You shouldn't have any of this happening. You didn't spend anything on the car, but still, you spent $3,000 already. That's the same price as you could buy one that's in working condition. You could have gotten a new used car from a dealership for that price. So at this point in time, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll sell the car, get a new car, because it still wasn't starting. I go out, get a new car, take the old car off my 3000 or old plates off my 3000 GT, put on the new car, Honda Civic, by the way, not a 3000 GT in any way. And I'm like, all right, I'll put it on Facebook Marketplace. Put it on Facebook Marketplace. 2 days later, this guy messages me. I say, all right, come Saturday. He comes Saturday. I said, listen, if the car's not running, I'll only have you pay $800. If it's running, I'm going to have you pay $900. I wake up that morning, and I'm like, please, I need this money to pay off my girlfriend's dad. Please, I need this money. Because at the time, I almost paid him fully off. The only money I didn't pay him was about $900 to $100. So I go put the key in the ignition. I'm sweating now because I'm so worried it's not going to start. I start to turn it over, and I hear that scream, and I'm bursting for joy. Because all that it has to do one more time is come on again when they get there. They get there about an hour and a half later because they lived about 2 hours away. And they're like, all right, could you pop the hood open? Pop the hood open. They look at the shock absorber joints, I think, something like that. They're like, wow, this is pretty good condition. These sockets here are usually rotted out. That's what we always find in these. And I'm like, yeah, it is running, by the way. I got it to run. I fixed it somehow. I didn't fix it. It just did it by itself. And I'm like, that's going to be $900. He's like, yep, no problem. I mean, honestly, I would have paid you more for this. And at that moment, I was like, shit. So I had him sign a contract that said, I'm not liable for anything. The minute you put this on your trailer, I'm not liable for anything. And also, I signed him over the title. So I have a contract, the title, and the money, and a Honda Civic. I drive over to my ex-girlfriend's house now, drop her dad off the money, and he had a smile on his face like he was surprised that I paid him back. And I said, I promised you I would. And the worst thing about this car being broken is I had cops take pictures in it. When I just go to the store, cops come up to me and be like, you mind if I take a picture in that? I said, no problem. I'd have bongs in my trunk that they didn't see, obviously. I've had mechanics take pictures in it because it was just that rare of a car to find, and it was just that nice of a car. To this day, I still kind of regret selling it, but it is what it is. I look for that kind of car all the time, and now I see that they're actually selling for like $5,000. But for the next few months after that, I got some pictures from the dude, some videos of upgrades, and he said he had a few problems here and there, but eventually it ran fine and perfect. I was like, dope, man, that's cool. And, I miss that car, but it is what it is. I have a few bad car stories about the Honda as well, and if you guys are interested in that, I'll probably tell you anyway. Just let me know. I know this is a bit of a longer video. I hope you enjoyed it. I try to put a lot of information in a little amount of time. I can do definitely a more in-depth video because, there's a lot more that happened with that car than just that. But just in general, that's what ended up happening. But I hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, follow my TikTok, my Twitch. I play zombies almost every night. And it's your boy, guys. Stay safe. Stay sexy or whatever. I don't care. And yeah. It's a great fucking day to be alive.